Oh, hello there. Oh, hi there. It's just me and my new tiny mic. Me and my new tiny mic didn't see you there. Okay. Hello. It has been a while since we have done a sit-down, dedicated art video on this channel, hasn't it? And that's my bad. I've been into doing my vlogs and I've kind of lost sight of my roots. But today, that changes because I'm gonna paint. If you've watched any of my vlogs from this past year, you may know that I am a lady of class and culture. I'm at the art museums, I'm wandering, I'm admiring, I'm looking around thinking, wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But you know what would make this Da Vinci even better? If my dog was in it. Rembrandt should remember to put my dog in it. If the creation of Adam had Odie in it, I'm buying a print from the Vatican gift shop. Give me 14 of them. I've also been missing those ye olden YouTube days of tag videos and challenge videos. Do you guys remember the whisper challenge? The cinnamon challenge? 100 layers of makeup challenge?
Oh, girl. Yes. I need an adult.
That truly was the golden age of the internet. My, how we've fallen. You really haven't lived till you've been bean-boozled. I remember some art challenges too, like a speed drawing challenge, draw with your eyes closed challenge. Well, this is gonna be my art challenge for mostly myself, but also anybody else who wants to partake. Paint your pets into famous works of art challenge. The great thing about this is there really are endless options to choose from. It's girl with the pearl earring, but with Odie. So it's pup with the pearl earring. Mona Lisa, more like Bona Lisa. Ew. What's that one with the apple? Son of a Man? That would be a good one. The first one I thought of was Monet's water lilies, but Odie's floating by the water in an inner tube. He's got a cooler, a PBR. The Scream, but instead of him screaming, he's crop dusting the guy on the pier. If you had two pets, American Gothic would be iconic. I'm not good at painting people's faces or hands, but if I can replace people with dogs, now we're cooking. Like Birth of Venus would be really cool, but I can't paint those other fine folks. You get the idea. It's kind of a two-parter, double hitter challenge, because not only do you have to recreate the famous work of art, but you also have to somehow integrate your pet into it. I'm also gonna do a third part to this challenge just for myself, which is adding a time limit. I don't wanna obsess over making these paintings perfect. It's more so just a fun exercise to get me painting. So I'm limiting myself to whatever I can accomplish today. More so probably one painting today and one painting tomorrow. But that's it. Before we jump into painting, I want to give a shout out to KraftGeek for partnering with me on today's video. KraftGeek designs portable equipment for artists, musicians, and content creators. They kindly sent me one of their Inspire easels to try out. This easel is compact, it's lightweight, it would fit comfortably in a backpack or a tote bag if you want to paint on the go. It's great for me because I live in a very small space and don't have a lot of room to store my art tools. The height is totally adjustable. You can set it up on a tabletop or transition it to a fully standing easel if you want to. The legs just slide out and twist into lock mode, and it also has an extendable clamp on the top to secure larger canvases. It's a great tool for somebody like me who works out of a very small space, or maybe somebody who paints outside, maybe you paint at live events. It comes in 4 different colors online, and I have a discount code for you if you'd like to try it out yourself. You can use my code BRIEISOK15 at checkout to save 15% on the KraftGeek website. They also make portable music stands, tripods, all kinds of different gadgets for creatives if you're in the market for some new gear. So thank you so much, KraftGeek, and let's get back into the video. Okay, to get started with this, first I need to prep my paper. I don't really paint on canvas. It's just not my jam, and I don't really have the storage space to store them. But for the easel, I do need something a bit more sturdy to prop up there. So I'm just gonna take my paper and tape it to a piece of scrap cardboard from a box I hid under the bed about 6 months ago. That way I can just clamp this into position on the easel, and I can get a really satisfying tape border peel off at the end. Now that I've got my paper done, I'm going to draw on a grid for myself. Wait, actually, I don't think I even said what painting I'm doing yet. I'm gonna do a Van Gogh. Very obvious choice for me. Me and Vince, we're like this. That's my boy. That's my freaking guy. I'm gonna recreate one of his self-portraits. This one, in fact. When I'm copying something from a reference and I really want to get the proportions just right, and tracing is not an option, I will do the trusty grid method. This is where I measure out a grid onto my paper and then slap that same pattern over top my reference photo. That way, when you're sketching everything out from the photo, it kind of makes it easier to line things up and get the proportions just right. It won't be exact, but it does help a lot. For my reference photo, I want it to actually look like what I'll be painting. So I'm gonna drop Vincent into Procreate, then slap a picture of Odie over top of his face. And then I'll just disguise what's left of Vincent using some little wispy brush strokes. I can also add my grid over top of this, just using the drawing assist function. And voila, we have our reference photo. Now I could just print this out and be done with it. But where's the fun in that? Okay, I think it's time to initiate the calming painting montage. My approach for this painting was kind of just blue. Get as much blue on there as possible. I had several different shades that I kept alternating on my brush, and I tried to pay attention to the direction of his brush strokes in the portrait so I could mimic those on my paper. Something else I like to do is draw over dried paint with colored pencils. I feel like I can get more precise details with a pencil versus a brush. And I also just generally like the effect it gives. I think it works quite well with this style of painting. I use the Prismacolor watercolor pencils. These are a little bit of an investment, but easily my favorite and most used art supply. Okay, so this is what I ended up with for my first painting. I do like it. I think it's cute. I'm not 100% in love with it. I guess I'd like to think that I could improve upon this if I really locked in, but this is the best I could do in an afternoon. I think it accomplishes what I set out to accomplish. I think it translates as the Van Gogh. I'm also being hard on myself and comparing this to one of the greatest artists of all time. So like, let's relax. Okay, well, what should we paint now? Hi guys, it's the next morning, but I've decided to take a little bit of a detour. It's supposed to be a really pretty day today and I don't want to waste it inside. So we're going on a side quest to procure 1, fluffy jiggly pancakes, then walk in the park, then find a pub for a proper Sunday roast. It's also wisteria season when I'm filming this, and I have a little bit of wisteria hysteria. I want nothing more than to walk around and look at it in the name of science and field research. Guys, don't click away. I'll be right back. 60 seconds or less. Let's do this. Oh, hi, we're back. Why am I holding it like that? I don't like that. Oh, hi there, we're back. It's actually about 2 weeks later, and I'll get into that in a second. But today we're back and we're gonna paint. If I look tired, it's because I've been carrying the crushing weight of being alive. I'm having a hard time regulating my emotions. Put a finger down if you're having a hard time regulating your emotions in 2025. All I really want to do is be a vegetable in bed and scroll on my phone, but that has deteriorated my mental health. So I know what will be better is sitting down today and painting something and distracting my brain a little bit. So I'm going to set the mood on the TV. I'm going to put on some nice ambiance sounds, maybe start a new audiobook while we sit down and start a new painting. I went back and forth about what painting I wanted to do because part of me really wants to do another Van Gogh because I'm kind of in the groove of that style. But I think for the sake of the video, it would be more entertaining to see me do something different. So I think I am gonna do a Monet, some version of his water lily pond. This creature is crying at my feet. I think you're covering the microphone. But yeah, let's sit down, get into our hobbies and just chill out for a second. Okay, what sounds of rain video are we feeling today? Does anybody else do that? Like, it's a beautiful sunny day outside, but I want to play calming sounds of rain on the TV. Oh, life is so sad when you don't have enough toys. Okay, we've got dark screen rain. This is a personal favorite, this little Japanese village window. We also have this open window, rain on clay pots. Let's get into this one. Yeah, this little Japanese garden village. I'm rocking with this. Could you guys actually let me know if you've read anything riveting recently? I'm in a little bit of a reading slump and I don't know what to pick up next. I really like these jelly gouache paints. Like, they've kind of come to be my favorite paint. But what I don't like about them is if you don't store them properly, if you don't let them like fully dry out, or if you're not using them regularly, they build up mold. I think maybe I'm putting the lid on when they're too wet and it just kind of festers in there. Maybe if I sprayed them down with like an alcohol solution or something before I stored them, that would kind of help with it. But it's pretty gross and it makes me like not want to use it, but I also don't want to waste the paint. So I kind of just like sanitize it, spray it down with alcohol, and scrape off the mold. Okay, so the Monet that I decided to do is called Bridge Over a Pond of Water Lilies. I already sketched it out. I already did my little grid and sketch of it. Honestly, not much to sketch out with this one because the painting is very fluid. There's not a lot of harsh lines. So what I have here is just kind of a general outline of where colors should go. I do suspect that this painting is going to be a lot harder than the first one, just because of how many colors it has. There's kind of like a lot going on in it. I'm gonna have my little reference photos set up to the side over here. I kind of don't know where to start with this one. I think I might just kind of lay down a wash of color and then just kind of build it up from there. The painting looks to me like he started with dark colors and kind of laid down a wash of all the dark colors and then built up the lighter hues on top of that. So I think that's kind of how I'm gonna start. I just kind of dipped a bunch of the dark colors out of my palette. I'm gonna activate them with some water and then just kind of do that wash of shadows, kind of like wash of dark colors over the whole thing. And then kind of go from there. This is definitely the style of painting that I prefer doing. Something that's a lot more fluid and kind of interpretive. It's really all that's in my skill set as well. As soon as you start getting into the realism aspect is where you lose me. I don't have the skill set for that. My skill set is much more painterly, I would call it. This kind of impressionism style is a lot more up my alley. So what I was saying before about it being 2 weeks since the start of this video has to do with our flat. I mean, we moved into the city, and so now we kind of deal with city noises. And the musical backdrop for our life in our apartment is that the sounds of the city, the sounds of construction. It is a never-ending melody of construction sounds. Construction ambiance. Calming construction ambiance for 24-hour sleep. As soon as they're done refurbishing that building, they move on to that building and then move on to that building. And now suddenly we're repaving the road over there. We're busting down the sidewalk over here. The past week, there's been a pressure washer outside, pressure washing the garden. And it has been nonstop pressure washing sounds from 9 to 5. My man's was out there. Pressure washing simulator IRL. Every time I sat down to start filming this video, or really any video, I have to work around the sounds of construction. That's kind of why I do a lot of like music and voiceover sections of my videos, is it's just kind of too loud to just sit down and chat. I'm kind of hoping this new microphone I got will make it a little bit easier for me to just vibe. I'm not sure what book I want to start next. I have been in a reading slump. My kind of main genres that I like to read would be fantasy or like mystery thriller. The last thing I finished and really enjoyed was the new Hunger Games novel. I liked reading about the backstory of sweet baby Angel Haymitch. I kind of enjoy the Hunger Games novels and movies even more now than I did when I was a teenager, because it just kind of feels like so relevant. I do want to apologize for engaging in any President Snow thirst trap edits that I saw on TikTok. I don't condone it, and I really want to apologize for engaging with it. And before that, I read two kind of like mystery thrillers. One was called The Dark Shore or On the Dark Shore or something like that. And the premise of it was really cool. But I was very unsatisfied with the ending of it. And then the other book that I finished recently was called None of This Is True, which was another kind of thriller book. And it was really gripping at first. I was really into it, but the ending of it left me unsatisfied. It left much to be desired. And that is just kind of a huge pet peeve of mine. I also just have really high standards for, I guess, novels, books that I'm reading. Nothing bothers me more than when you're really into a story and the ending flops. I don't like stories where there's no like real resolution, and maybe that's unrealistic, but I just don't like it when the end of the story is like, oh, the bad guys got away and that's that, or everybody died and nobody's better off for it. I'm like, what do you mean? Why did I just spend 4 days reading this for no payoff? I guess I also just have this like sense of justice, like social justice, that I get really annoyed when it's not fulfilled. I'm like this with TV too. We just subscribed to a VPN so we could watch our HBO Go shows, or HBO Now. What are they calling themselves these days? Our HBO shows that we haven't watched since we moved over here. I was really excited to start watching House of the Dragon because I was such a big Game of Thrones fans until they flopped it at the end. And again, I realize I may have unrealistic standards, but I hate getting invested in a show or a storyline, invested in characters, to just have it all be for nothing, which is very much how Game of Thrones felt. But I also just don't like it when the bad guy gets away. I don't like it when the evil corporate billionaire overlords just get away with it and nothing happens. And maybe that's my own fault. Maybe had I grown up with that type of storytelling, I would be more equipped to deal with the nature of the real world. But when I'm immersed in a story, I don't always want it to be like the real world. I want to have a nice, clean, ending where I feel satisfied for watching it. Patrick says watching TV with me is like watching TV with the Pikachu meme, because my face the whole time is just like, what do you mean the dragons are fighting each other? They're not supposed to do that. Oh, but anyway, we were watching House of the Dragon, which I thoroughly enjoy. I like that level of like world building and storytelling. But again, it's very much one of those kind of like good versus evil. There is some gray area, but like there's clearly a side that you're rooting for. But I have seen online, I don't know, that scene in Game of Thrones where Joffrey kind of reveals the ending of House of Dragons. And then in looking it up, the book ends with Rhaenyra, sorry, spoiler, the main character, getting eaten by dragons, or like her brother killing her and she's eaten by dragons. And that's the end of it. And so I'm watching this show being so invested in this character and rooting for her now, just to know that she's gonna be eaten by dragons at the end. If I wanted to watch a version of Star Wars where the Empire won, I would simply just turn on the news. You know what I mean? Like I would simply just go outside. You know what is actually baffling to me is when I'm doing something I enjoy, when I'm doing a hobby, I do feel better than when I'm just sitting doom scrolling on my phone. So if I feel better when I'm doing it, why is it so hard to do it? Why is it so hard to just start something, to like get off your butt and start doing something? If you know that you're gonna like it, and if you know you're gonna enjoy it and feel better afterwards, why does your brain make it so hard to start? Why are you fighting me on this? Okay, I think I've worked up some nice like base colors. I think I'm just gonna let this dry for a little bit before I start adding more color on top of it. I think I will eat my words about this painting being harder. This one took way less time and was a lot more fun than the first one. Maybe I just prefer landscapes to portraits. I really liked adding in all the highlights and pink water lilies. I went over this one with pencils as well, and then painted Odie running over the bridge chasing his tennis ball. Okay, painting number 2. I like this one. I think it's really sweet. I had a lot of fun painting it. This is maybe one I would display somewhere. My biggest note on both of these maybe would be that my color palette is a little bit more saturated than my reference photos. If I could somehow dull that down, I think they would both read a little bit more like the originals. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with these. If you try this yourself with your pet, please tag me in it, send me a DM, send a raven, whatever. I'd like to see them. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope it was somewhat relaxing, distracting, and I will see you soon. Okay, love you, bye.